my name is Christina, and today I'm going to be showing you how I flip furniture to look like Anthropologie dupes. The price range for the inspiration pieces can range anywhere from over $500, like up to like $800 I feel like I see, but other pieces can go up to $3,000. I go to Goodwill probably a few times a week. The best days to go to Goodwill are Mondays and Tuesdays, because a lot of people come on the weekend and that's when they drop off all of their old stuff. So the style of Anthropologie pieces can be tough to find, but they're there. You have to look for the mid-century pieces because mid-century pieces have the same style and they're also worth more money, so not a lot of people are bringing them to thrift stores, but they're there. So when I'm thrifting, I already know what's like the right piece or not just by looking at the shape. I go for like that modern look. Like this, no, we don't want any of that. Like there's just like too much going on. Like on this too, like there's like those things. We don't like that. So like the more simple, the better, I guess. This piece was inspired by the Lacquer Regency nightstand by Anthropology, which costs $698. The thrifted piece costs $8. I'm filling in some cracks with wood filler. Here I'm sanding the entire body of the piece to smooth it out. When you paint over a piece, that's when you can really see all the texture. It's kind of like when you put makeup on, like you want like a clean canvas. Priming is important because the oils from the wood will seep through the paint. And so let's say I paint a piece just regular white, a white paint color, and I don't prime it. The browns from the wood will seep through and you'll be able to see it and it'll look really bad. So you have to prime it. I prefer using bare paint. I'll usually do 3 coats of paint, and then after that, I'll let it fully dry. It's never going to be perfect, but when I'm trying to match a shade to the inspiration piece, I'll have like a screenshot of my phone of the piece, and then like all of the shades in my other hand, and I'm like trying to match them all. It usually takes me like 10 minutes, because I just stare at all of them, trying to figure out the right shade. I think after an hour, it's fine to put that polyurethane on. It protects the piece. It's like an extra layer of protection on the paint. It gives it a little bit of a glossy finish. My goal is to make a piece look as close to the inspiration as possible. That's probably my #1 priority. Second priority is keeping it cheap. But hardware does get very expensive, so sometimes I'll have to go with a cheaper option. Majority of my hardware I'm getting off Amazon. Sometimes Etsy. I like the way the final piece came out. I think it looks pretty similar to the inspiration. Though I will say I know that that blue color isn't for everyone. That was probably the most expensive hardware I've ever spent, so I will probably put it up for $200 and hope I get $175 for it. This piece is inspired by the Borostar Sideboard by Anthropology. It was one of my toughest slips ever because the white detailing on the front 2 doors took me so long and I had no idea when I was done if it was going to look like the inspiration. So I really just hoped for the best, but if you look at the detailing, it's so easy to mess up because it's all perfectly symmetrical, so I had to measure everything out to make it look exactly like the inspiration, which took me hours. Sold it for $200. This was my toughest piece to sell because it's the trendiest piece I've ever done. And when I sold it, the woman thought it was from Home Goods. So that kind of made me feel good. I was like, I actually painted it, but thank you. This piece was inspired by the Lacquer Regency 6-drawer dresser. It's a really popular piece, so it was sold out online. Typically, I try to get as close to the inspiration as possible, but I have had pieces where I'll see the inspiration and I won't necessarily like the color, so I'll change the color, but I'll still go for the same look. So I just did light pink. Oh, I like the finished product. I liked it a lot. I thought it was so cute. And that's something that I would have in my house. If I had a newborn, that would be in her nursery. That one was easy to sell. I sold it for $225. My advice on flipping furniture would be watch YouTube tutorials before you get into it. And I did that for a month before I actually started doing it. And then one day I was like, screw it, I'm going to Home Depot and I'm just gonna buy everything that they're using in this video. So make sure that you're educated on what pieces are actually worth something and should not be painted over, and pieces that you can paint.